Floodwaters keep climbing tonight on the Mississippi River, and eastern Iowa communities are still working to protect their cities and towns. Tonight on Iowa's News Now, we'll check in on folks as they all prep for near-record crest this week.
Up close look at the flooding's impact of the area firsthand. Meanwhile, in the town of McGregor, the flood's impact having some impact on flooding of basements, but the other impact of the flood is a decrease in foot traffic. Some pumps fill the curbs of downtown McGregor with water as the Mississippi River sits in major flood stage for a third consecutive day. For businesses along Main Street, this is just part of life being a river community.
For many of us in this town, it's a historic river town and it's had many floods.
At Paper Moon, a book and gift shop in town, the floodwaters aren't causing major headaches.
Our basement used to have a store in it.
But they are having to deal with water seeping in through the basement, even turning it into an attraction to bring customers to see the water.
We usually don't have issues physically in here until 22 feet.
As water seeps from underground, the city's sewer system is being put to the test to keep the water out.
We have several pumps that need 24/7 maintenance and observation. Like most small towns, we've managed to do all of the sandbagging and so forth with volunteer help.
Flood defenses are currently holding back the water from affecting Main Street. The water will climb about another foot as we head towards the weekend. River levels will remain high for the next several weeks. Flooding, on top of ongoing street construction in McGregor, has slowed local business, but store owners are encouraging people to come and spend time in town.
99% of the roads are open in the whole area. They can handle the flood better.
And Dubuque is prepping for their own crest at some point as waters flow southward. As we told you yesterday, 13 of the city's 17 flood control system gates are closed. The rest will be shut down by the end of the week. It'll be the third time ever they've all been closed since they finished that system back in 1973. Crews are watching the flood wall and the levee system around the clock. There are 7 different pumps running to keep water out of certain areas. Those protections should hold up, but officials do say people in downtown should have a plan just in case. Another sign of Iowans helping Iowans amid the Mississippi flooding. That pump in Davenport tonight is from LINN County. The county is lending it to the city as they make preps ahead of the crest. The pump is one of 70 strategically placed around the entire state, making sure they can get moved wherever they're needed quickly.
Water stays in the city, so there's normal ways for it to get out and run into the river are sealed off. So these pumps oftentimes are utilized for keeping the city dewatered.
Lord says once those floodwaters drop in Davenport, the pump gets cleaned and sent back to LINN County. As for the rest of our weather first forecast, it's been a pretty quiet week out there, which is exactly what we need, Garrett.
Absolutely, and as we continue with our coverage of that river as well, the good news, however, is the rain chances we've been talking about later on this week has been coming down substantially. So while we're still at least watching some of these forecasts, they have been coming down. I believe now we're at around 23.5 for the forecast area over in the McGregor area. Dubuque as well, still sitting around 23.64 currently.
Cool. Communities up and down the Mississippi are still prepping for their crest in the coming days. That includes in Lansing, up in Alameda County, where a bridge connecting Iowa and Wisconsin is shut down until the water levels drop. Weather First meteorologist Kason Frericks is checking in with things there.
There's a sort of quietness in the city of Lansing right now.
The bridge obviously is a huge lifeline for the town.
Flooding on the Mississippi River has closed the Black Hawk Bridge connecting the city to Wisconsin. Not only is it an inconvenience to people who use the bridge to get to work, but it also drops the number of people who visit the city.
Anytime the bridge is closed, we see a huge drop in the number of people that are visiting, especially over the weekends. And we are getting into the season where we're starting to ramp up for summer. So
the economic impacts may be felt more in the long term, but the flooding happening now cannot be ignored. Several roads are closed inside the Lansing city limits. The baseball field is completely covered in water, and pumps are working hard to keep the sewer system functioning properly.
And you can drive underneath the deck in the wintertime. We park underneath there.
Bob Hinkle has lived along the Mississippi in his house since 1993. The deck he normally parks his car under is now underwater, and his basement is filled with 53 inches of water.
We can still live in the house. We got everything out of the basement, and the heater and everything's upstairs, the washer and dryers.
And when asked if he would ever move,
We just absolutely love it. The kids love it. The grandkids love it. They're crawdad hunting down here. They're fishing all the time. They're down here. Catch a lot of fish when the river's down, and it just a little slice of heaven. We wouldn't move, that's for sure.
In Lansing, Kason Frericks, Iowa's News Now.
And of course, the good news is that the crest at McGregor has been lowered some, now down to 23.5 feet. That would now place it on the third highest crest on record, behind 2001. Let's take a closer look at the current river forecast information for McGregor. Again, we remain in flood stage, major flood stage that is, for the third consecutive day, and the water will remain high in major flood stage for at least the next 7 days. Elsewhere along the Mississippi River, we are dealing with flooding, either moderate or major. We expect a major flood stage crest upstream in Lansing, a moderate flood stage crest in Lynxville, and downstream of here in Guttenberg, a major forecast is coming up on April 28th, right around the 21-foot mark. Downstream of there, towards Dubuque area, we are in major flood stage as well. That will continue to climb. We expect that crest to be around 24 to 25 feet as well. The current level sitting in around 23.7 feet at this hour.